Today, the Republic of Korea military is about 590,000 strong. This will be drawn down over the next 10 to 15 years due to a downsizing of ground forces. But a critical driver is the falling number of eligible Korean men for conscription each year that will fall from 330,000 per year today to about 180,000 in 2039. And this trend, despite gargantuan efforts by the government, is unlikely to be reversed. So what can South Korea do? It can focus on a much more high-tech oriented armed forces as it is pursuing several new weapon systems, including hypersonic and longer-range ballistic missiles, unmanned platforms, more powerful submarines, drones, a more streamlined and modernized command and control system, and greater use of space assets. But the ROK military, formidable as it is, faces not only a nuclearized North Korea, but China's increasingly powerful armed forces. The South Korean military must put into place a bipartisan defense reform that outlasts governments that serve for single 5-year terms. Since the restoration of democracy in 1987, every South Korean president has pursued his or her version of defense reforms. There were some successes, but mostly they were piecemeal and driven by parochial interests. This type of business as usual defense reform simply cannot continue. South Korea faces a growing array of asymmetrical challenges, as well as increasing cyber attacks, and the repercussions flowing from growing US China strategic competition. There will be greater demand for real time strategic and tactical intelligence. The ROK military will face wide ranging hybrid military threats. Interoperability with US forces is a critical factor, but as the US reconfigures its longer term defense posture in the Indo Pacific, changes in the US ROK military alliance are also inevitable. This doesn't have to be a gloom and doom scenario, but South Korea only has one chance to do this right. Failure is not an option. As a new government comes into office in May 2022, the next South Korean president must devote a significant portion of his national security agenda on reformatting the armed forces. Paying lip service to defense reforms, buying ever more expensive platforms, and in some respects, politicization of the military leadership have stymied structural, doctrinal, and even organizational reforms. A streamlined military with greater jointness among the services can no longer be postponed. Done correctly, the ROK military can overcome negative manpower trends. Yet this will require unparalleled support from the fractured and polarized National Assembly, immense presidential political capital, and painful adjustments by all three services and the bloated defense bureaucracy. But it can be done. Thank you.